If you guys don't already know, the KT Talk Show is now on the HeartGrid Network. The HeartGrid Network is now on Captivate.fm, and we are working on moving all our episodes to all other podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple. So be sure to check us out, the KT Talk Show on the HeartGrid Network, and other shows that you can find there as well. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KT Talk Show, formerly known as Connect with KT. Wanted to let you guys know the app and program that I use for my podcast. This is a completely free program where you can download and record and edit your podcast for free. There is an app that's free, and you go to anchor.fm to use it online on your laptop. There's a creation tool on here where you can edit. And also there is no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And remember, you can download the free app or go to anchor.fm. Another thing to remember is I am now on the HeartGrid Network, which is on Captivate.fm. We are currently working on putting all our episodes on all platforms, including Spotify and Apple, so make sure to listen to us on there as well. Hey everybody, welcome to the KT Talk Show. So this afternoon, I'm super duper excited. First of all, I'm in a fantastic mood, and it's probably thanks to you, Sharan, over here. But I'm super excited to have Sharan Sammy on today. So we met on Facebook, we met through a group, and she's like, hey, I saw you reached out for people to be on your podcast. Let's chat, let's see what's going on. And we vibed, and we're like, hey, let's do an episode together. So here she is. And today we wanted to talk about manifesting, and she's going to talk about how you can manifest things in your life, and to talk about the programs that she's offering right now. So Sharan, I would love to have you introduce yourself and just kind of tell us what you do.
Thank you. So thank you, Katie, first of all, for having me. And it's been great to connect with you as well. So a little bit about me. I'm Sharan Sammy. I'm from the UK. I'm a mother, a wife. I've got two adorable children. So I've got a 6-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. And I spent pretty much the last 20 years of my life in the corporate banking world in the UK, which I loved with a passion, even the long hours and, meeting my corporate clients, advising them on risk management solutions. I loved it with a passion. But then over the last 15 years, I just appreciated that there's got to be more to life. There's got to be, more than this whole corporate world. And that really, Katie, just opened the doors to my personal development journey to literally where I am today. I've come out of the corporate world, and I'm now an empowerment coach and intuitive healer. So I help corporate professionals in all different shapes and guises, around the world, to overcome their personal limitations, their fears, doubts, concerns, limiting beliefs, to achieve that incredible clarity, confidence, happiness, and really just to really follow their passions and their dreams and their goals in any area of their life through my one-to-one packages and also my group programs, which I can touch upon later on in our talk.
Definitely. I'm so happy to have you here. This is so exciting.
Thank you.
And it's so cool that you work with so many different kinds of people from all different walks of life, so you get to experience just all different kinds of experiences with people, right? And you probably have people coming in and asking all different kinds of questions, I'm sure. Let's talk about your manifesting journey. So how did you, what started you on this journey?
Yeah, totally. Okay. My manifesting journey, started pretty much when I was 6 years old. Okay, my mom had a magazine. I was flicking through this magazine. There was a painting competition. I entered the painting competition. 2 weeks later, we got a letter come through, and I'd won 4 tickets to a local theme park in the UK. So at that young age, I was absolutely amazed, filled with all of this joy and excitement. And then that literally got me onto entering more competitions. So that year, later on in the year, I entered another competition. And I won that competition, and it was to this birthday party of famous cartoon characters, Tom and Jerry. It was their annual anniversary. And it was absolutely amazing. So from the age of 6, it was like my neuro pathways were like connecting to like to formulate this belief that if I want something in life, I can achieve it. And this is even before obviously my personal development journey started at the age of 24.
Wow.
And another example, if I can share, if that's okay,
Yeah,
Katie.
of course.
Yeah, okay. I finished university, so early 20s, and literally I've got an older sister, a younger brother. We're going to this family dinner in the evening. We all pull up on this restaurant car park. My sister has got a brand new car. My brother was given a brand new car by my parents, and I turn up in my old car, which is fine because I loved my purple passion. It was a purple Ford KA. And my brother and sister both said to me, "You're the one who's just finished university and you're the one who've just landed a fantastic job in the corporate world. Yet look at the car you're driving." And to me, that is so superficial. But what I did, Katie, and this is before I even knew about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, manifesting, before I even knew about that, I literally can remember like it was yesterday. I put out to the universe, which meant I just looked up in the sky and I said in my mind, I want a brand new car, but I don't want to pay for it. I want to be given it safely. Thank you, universe. And so it is. And that was my order, literally to the universe. It's a bit like you go to the restaurant and you look at the menu and you say, "Oh, I'll have this and I'll have that." And then the waiter takes it to the kitchen. And then you know with complete certainty that the chef is going to cook up your meal and then it's going to serve you your meal back to your table. So then what happened was I just kind of had this inner knowing, I'm going to be given this car. 9 months later, I'm listening to a radio station. Just by chance, I tune into a different radio station and it said, "To enter the competition, dial this number." So I dialed the number, not knowing what it was for or what to do. And I cracked this code within 30 seconds live on this radio show. So I won the competition and the presenter said, "You are now in a prize draw to win a brand new car and you're part of 24 people." So altogether there was 24 of us.
Wow.
That year I had to go to this car showroom when the brand new registration was going to be launched. And out of 24 people, Katie, I got down to 16. 16, I got down to 8, then 4, then 2. So there was me and this other lady. And it was pure game of chance. Literally, it was like a card game of chance. And in that moment, I just knew my mindset was like, I've got that car. That car's mine. And I was feeling it. I was imagining it. It was right in front of me. I just knew with like a passion that car is mine. So what happened? I won the car. And it was such an amazing, incredible feeling. Absolutely fantastic feeling ever. And so then after that, that's when really, I would say a few years later, my personal development journey started. And like I've mentioned, I've been that for 15 years. So if you can imagine, without even knowing about manifesting, what I kind of achieved to knowing about it, and I've achieved so much more. And so I kind of call myself a serial manifester because it's using the power of your mind. And anybody can do this, okay? It's using the power of your mind. And there is a process, and there is a lot of mindset work. But as well as the mindset, it's about the heart as well. So it's about your heart set, connecting in with the vibrations of you energetically, and then connecting with your mind, and then acquiring the skill set. So I do feel it's like 3 steps. It's like your mindset, your heart set, and your skill set. But it's so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's amazing. Like, how cool
Thank
is
you.
that? And I think a lot of people overthink it. I was just, as you were talking, I was like, I talk to a lot of people and they're like, I can't just think of something and make it happen, like that's what you're making it sound like. And it's like, no. And when you say that first step, it's the mindset. Like, you have to have the right mindset first to know that you can achieve those things and you can get those things. It's not impossible. And I never like to say anything is impossible because possible is in impossible, right?
Yeah, totally. And another thing,
yeah,
definitely. And another thing with this, Katie, like you mentioned, it's like you mentioned, which is a very common viewpoint. I can't think of anything, or it's a case of I can think of things, but I don't know how. But literally, Katie, with that example about the car, I had no idea who was going to give me a car, when I was going to get it, how I was going to get it. But I literally had faith, and I put it out to the universe and just said, universe, I want a brand new car, but I'm not going to pay for it, but I want it safely.
Not paying.
Thank you. So it's literally, and I didn't really know how. And this is where, Katie, the faith comes into it. And I'm so passionate about this, because you've got to have that instilled faith. But as well as that, it's not just kind of land on your lap, because I had to take that inspired, aligned action. Like, for example, I listened, and all of a sudden the radio station said to enter this competition. Now, I didn't have to enter this competition. I had no idea which radio station I was listening to, because it the one I was listening to tuned out, and this kind of came in its place because I was traveling. So
oh my gosh, it gave me the chills. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And I had no idea what it was for. And then after the 30 seconds, and I'd cracked that code, and he said, and you're in this prize draw to win a brand new car. I was like, oh my God. And at that point, I just knew it's mine. It's mine. I've got it.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So let's talk about let's talk about a little bit about mindset. So how do you train people to get, because that's obviously what you do, right? You're a coach. This is what you do. So how do you get people in the right mindset? Like, how do you train people to get in that?
Okay. So I either work with clients on a one-to-one basis through my personal power package, and that's the most effective, I would say, depending upon what a person wants to get out of, obviously what they want to achieve, what their end goal is. But I also do group packages as well, and there is a very powerful group package which I do, which is called Infinite Possibilities, because at the end of the day, there's so many infinite possibilities out there. And this program talks about, first of all, our thoughts, because it's all about the mindset. Our thoughts are the most powerful, incredible thing ever, because you're high vibe, you're positive, and gratitude. Yes, so I work with clients on a one-to-one basis as part of my personal power package. And the work that we do is so in-depth. And again, it covers the mindset work as well as the heart set and the skill set work. But what I also do as well is I do group programs. And there's one which is very, very powerful, which I run, which is called the Infinite Possibilities Mastermind Group. And it's so powerful. It's an 8-week program. But what we do to start with is we focus on our thoughts, okay? Because our thoughts are the most powerful thing in the world, in the universe. It runs the show, and our thoughts dictate exactly what we experience in life, because ultimately our thoughts become things. What we think about, we bring about. So, for example, if you feel like you're thinking like really happy thoughts, and one of the ways that you can do this is by using an exercise called gratitude. You may have come across this before, Katie, and also the listeners out there, but having an appreciation and just giving thanks, to those things that you are truly grateful for. And it's as simple as saying, I am so happy and grateful today for my eyesight, for my wonderful hair. I mean, look at your wonderful hair, Katie. That and saying 5 things that you are so happy and grateful for. And what that does in that moment is it kind of puts you in that appreciation, that thanks, and it changes your vibration and your whole chemistry within your brain. So your serotonin, your oxytocin, your dopamine, etc. And then what happens is it shifts your vibration into positivity and your high vibe. So what that means is you're then going to be start to attract all of the things, the situations, the circumstances, the events, the people that are in the same vibrational level, which means energetic level as you. So what that means is if you then want to attract, I don't know, if you're working and you want to get like a pay rise, or you want to, have a new job, a new partner, whatever it is that you want, it's first of all, it comes down to our thoughts. We've got to think about what are our goals, what are our dreams, what are our aspirations in life. So that's quite powerful, especially like on the mindset side.
Right.
And then through the program, we go through like our beliefs, because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking on repeat. But the most important thing here, Katie, is when you're manifesting, depending upon your beliefs, that really runs the show. And a lot of people out there, and particularly my clients that work with me on a one-to-one basis, particularly with my healing packages, my theta healing packages, they have limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs can be, for example, I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or looking at my car example, I would never be able to win a car, and if you're thinking that and you're feeling it and you're vibrating, thinking, I would never be able to win a brand new car, you're telling your subconscious mind and you're thinking, you're never going to be able to win a brand new car. So you're putting it out there to the universe. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm never going to be able to do this. I can't do this. Everybody else is better than me. So it's all of your internal programming. And that's what I work with my clients to do, which is one of the processes of manifesting, which is letting go, letting go of the belief. Because if you look at the word belief, the 3 letters in the middle of belief is lie, L-I-E. And sometimes your beliefs are just a lie. They're not even real, but they have so much power with the results that you'll get it financially, in relationships, through your work, through your own physical health. So it all impacts, your heart space, your mindset, and your skill set. So that's why I say the 3 things are the most important.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that was very informal. I appreciate that response. Thank you very much. And I also think that, as far as like our belief system and setting goals, I think sometimes people struggle with actually even setting a goal, like setting that first goal. So what do you suggest for, some people, like, let's say right now, there's a lot of people that aren't working right now, right? They're trying to find maybe something else they're more passionate about in life right now. So what could you suggest for people that are just struggling with that first, their belief system, really, and then just finding that way to make a new goal for themselves? Like, how do they just set that one goal, just one, even if it's like you were saying, even if it's just to find your partner, or be a better mother, or whatever it is, get a higher position in a job. So
there's a simple technique which you can do, first of all, and it's so simple, yet it's so simple not to do. It's literally just having a clean piece of paper with your pen and making a list of all of the things that you would like to be, to have, to see, or to do. And it's literally just that. So it's a list of what you can have, be, see, and do. And literally just open up your imagination, and that there's no limitations, there's no judgment, there's no feeling of guilt. So you could literally say, I want to make, and then, what's your financial goal? What is it that you've aspired to have? And it's not saying that, for example, if you're earning, I don't know, just a random figure, $20,000 a year, and then you jump it to 2 million for a year, okay, because that in your mindset is going to be a bit whoa, it's going to blow your mind. So it's having a little bit of realism, but also stretching yourself. So for example, if you were earning $20,000, you could then say, well, actually, I want to push it to say 80, or I want to push it to 50. And having the milestone, I mean, the longer term could be 2 million, but it's just having a number in mind. But then when you write out the list, to be, to do, to see, to have, you'll be amazed, the things that your imagination comes up with. Because a lot of the time, it's not just the tangible, that new handbag, or that car, or that new top, or that pair of earrings. It's going to be other stuff that you would really aspire to be, or to become, or to have, or to see. So it's making that list. And then once you've made that list, you could actually look through the list. And I say to my clients, first of all, have at least 50 things on the list. Okay. Now, I run a lot of group programs. Okay. And when I give this exercise to the clients on this program, they come back and they say, after the week, they say, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I said, okay, listen to your thoughts. You're telling yourself, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. Where else in life are you saying you can't do it? Because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And if your internal chatter is saying, I can't do this, and it is a simple exercise of 50 things, just stretching yourself, even to the point of what you want to see. There's more than 50 countries in the world. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's just kind of a hint, because you can definitely write 50 things. And even if it takes you an hour, you can definitely write 50 things. And it could even be, I want to have a hot cup of tea without my children constantly disturbing me, or my partner constantly disturbing me, or my boss. I just want to drink my tea while it's hot. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as small. And then once you look at the list, go through it, and then it's going to give you some form of awareness of what your goals can be. So that's a starting point, Katie.
No, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And what about as far as like building new habits? So I know that it kind of falls with your beliefs. So if we want to, is it good to start with smaller habits first? I know, because you know how people suggest that they say start out with something really, really small first, and then work at that small thing, and then this will make other things kind of happen for you, which I personally have done that myself. So I know that works fantastically, but I didn't know if there was something else that you could suggest as far as, building new habits.
Yeah, definitely. Because they do say typically a habit takes 21 days to form and to become the new norm. I would say 30 days. Okay, I would challenge it and say 30 days. So it could be something as simple like you've just mentioned there, Katie. It could be something as simple like something as small as, I want to wake up 15 minutes earlier to then do some affirmations, or even do gratitude like I've mentioned earlier, or sit down and just do some breathing, closing my eyes and just breathing in for 10 and breathing out for 10, and having that mindfulness connection with your heart, your body, your soul, and your spirit, and just reconnecting to your heart. And that could simply be waking up 15 minutes earlier. Because if you said to yourself initially, I normally wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I need to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, your mind's going to think, oh my gosh, how's that going to happen? That's not going to happen. And it's your thoughts that run the show. So if you do it in small bites, so like you could do 15 minutes first, and then you could stretch it after a week or two. Another thing, for example, on your health and fitness, drinking enough water. So if you question yourself right now, if you're listening to this, do you drink enough water? And me personally, I try to, but
I just thought about that. And I was like, oh shoot, I do need to drink some more water today. I think I only drink like a glass. Like,
yeah, just something as simple as that. And it could be like I normally have my bottle with me. It's not here at the moment. It's in the kitchen. But I normally have my big bottle with me. And it's actually got the pointers on it. So it's got like the times, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And it's kind of one of those reminders that, oh, I need to drink my water like hourly. And even with that, sometimes, don't get me wrong, we're all human, even me. I sometimes forget, and it is forming that habit. And if you start with small things like you mentioned, Katie, it's, it really helps you then to do the bigger things. But what I found as well, what helps me is if I write it down.
Oh yeah.
So I get my notebook and I write it down. Okay, this is what I need to do. I want to wake up earlier. I want to do some gratitude, do my meditation, drink my water, do my 30 minutes exercise. And then, because a key thing as well with all of this is really appreciating yourself and having, just celebrating your small wins. So for example, if you wake up every day 15 minutes earlier for a week, at the end of the week on Sunday, just maybe say, if I do that every day, I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to have a big piece of chocolate cake, or I'm going to have some fruit salad, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Just reward yourself, because if you reward yourself, what happens in our brains is we kind of think, wow, if I do this, I'm going to get this. So then you kind of internally self-motivating yourself to do that, which then forms the habit.
Yeah, definitely. I like how you explain that, because like I said, I think we all have different ways of how we set our goals and what habits we have.
Yeah.
And I know for some of us, I actually was just reading about this, so I'm curious to what you think about this. It's kind of new. You know, a lot of us do set schedules, right? Like we have a set
Yeah.
schedule and we plan, and they say like that's what you want to do. Like you want to have some sort of schedule and some sort of plan for yourself. But sometimes I feel like that person where, like me personally, where like sometimes the schedule doesn't work for me. And I feel like sometimes I just like to go more with the flow a little bit, you know, like if I have the time to do that. So what do you
Yeah.
suggest for, like, do you suggest it's better to keep a schedule, or do you think or is there more of a way that you can be more present and in the moment and not really have to do that, you know, the pre-planning and all those things that I
Yeah.
think everybody is so stressed about. It's like, that's what everybody is
Yeah.
so pressured to get this done and get that done. And, you know, just the craziness of life.
Yeah, totally, totally. And that's a really, really good point, Katie. It really is. Now, I kind of look at this with scheduling as two different pointers. Okay. So the first pointer, it's coming from which energy center is it coming from? So, for example, is it coming from the masculine energy of do, do, do? I've got to do the to-do list. I've got to tick this off. I've got to do this at 1 o'clock. I've got to do this at 2 o'clock, which is, I've been in the corporate world for the last 20 years. And literally that is like corporate energy,
Right.
very masculine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very driven. Like, I've got to achieve this goal and then I've got to make that phone call. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the masculine energy. All I'm saying is you need to have, like you mentioned, like a bit of a balance, especially with the flow energy. And the flow energy comes from the feminine side, you know, that B energy, opening up your intuition, you know, your gut instincts. And it's a bit like the yin and the yang. So making sure it all flows in harmony. So on the other side, okay, I am going to say there's nothing wrong with having a schedule, but the way that I tweak it is I look at my morning routine. Okay, so my morning routine, when I wake up in the morning, I do my gratitude, I do a meditation, and then what I do in my meditation is I connect inwards, and I then open up to setting. I mean, it's a guided visualization that I do, but it opens up the intentions for the day. So connecting to my higher self. And I give this meditation to a lot of my clients as well, but you literally open your mind up to think, okay, what's my day going to be looking like today based on my goals? So it's having that clarity first of all, but based on my goals, what's my day looking like? What are my intentions? And then what will happen is you will get the inspiration come through. Okay, we can all connect to our intuition. Okay, and it's listening to that guidance to say, today you need to make that phone call, you know, to whoever, you know, today you need to send that email, because when you send that email, you know, it's going to open doors. You're going to kind of be intuitively guided. So then what I then do is, once I've done my meditation, etc., my morning routine, I do get my notebook, and I'm trying to see if I've got it here to hand, but I've got a dedicated notebook, which is kind of a planner. And then I write down the things that I have to get done. And for me at the moment, it's very challenging because I am homeschooling my two little ones. And sometimes you can't really work to a schedule, Katie, because the kids are like, I don't want to do this, Mummy. I want to do that later. I want to watch this, or I want to go on my iPad. I want to play with my Lego. So sometimes I've kind of like put down a schedule at 10 o'clock. My daughter's going to do her English work and her maths work. And then she'll turn around and say, I want to play on my piano. So then sometimes I need some flexibility to go with the flow, like you said. So sometimes it is about the scheduling, to know in the day what you need to get done, but then maybe not be so regimental to say at 2 o'clock I'm going to do this and at 3 o'clock I'm going to do this. Just have that knowing that you're going to get it done, the things that you need to get done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that. And I also wanted to ask about like self-love, because you're a mom and you have two kids and you're homeschooling. I thought of this question as you were talking about this.
Yeah.
So how can how can we inspire mothers to be more self-loving? Because it's so easy to stop loving yourself, you know, when you're a mother. Because I did it too. You know, you just want to put everybody else in front of you, you want to help everybody. Because when you're a mother, that stuff kind of just kicks in, you know, and you forget about yourself. So what can you tell women, or how can we inspire women to, you know, to take that 5 minutes, 20 minutes to themselves every day? Or how to, I guess, you know.
Totally. And as you know, Katie, we were talking about this before. I do run like 10-day free self-love challenges. So for me at the moment, and I mean, sometimes I run 30-day self-love challenges. So for me at the moment, self-love is such a huge topic area. But just to give maybe a couple of examples and ideas, if that's okay. Yeah, okay. Like what you mentioned, Katie, sometimes we get so lost in ourselves, you know, particularly on the homeschooling side. And if any of you are listening and you've got children, I totally know what your pressures are. Because sometimes it's a case of, you know, you've got the label, you're the mommy, you're the wife, you're the, you know, you're the work colleague, you know, you've got all of these roles. And then sometimes we lose ourselves, like our connection to who we are, our essence, you know, our spiritual essence, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, we lose ourselves. So one of the exercises that I do quite frequently is you can leave your eyes open, or you can literally close your eyes, and you take yourself back to a time which was your most happiest memory. Okay, so it could be when you're on holiday. It could be, I don't know, when you achieved something. It could be when you passed an exam, whatever it is for you, you know, your most happiest. It could be when you were around your family at a family function, or whatever it is. And you go to that happiest moment. And if you close your eyes, it's better. Okay, so you go to that happiest moment, and it's like you relive the happiest moment of you in your core essence, in your happiest moment. And you feel into the feelings, the emotions, you know, the joy, the happiness, the contentment, all of that stuff. And then if you physically then put a smile on your face, okay, now this is going to sound really weird, but I'm going to say it. If you smile for 17 seconds, literally, maybe not do it around people when you've got your eyes closed, because they're going to think, what is she doing? But if you smile for 17 seconds, research has suggested that it actually affects your brain chemical in a heartbeat, just in a click of the fingers. And you increase your serotonin and oxytocin and dopamines to the point where you are literally, you know, in that high vibe, high frequency energy, just from a physical smile. Okay, so that's one way.
I'm just gonna do this all the time.
Just do that
every day.
So that's one way. Totally, definitely. Ooh. And another way that you can actually increase, you can you know, connect to that self-love is literally, like, I mean, I mentioned gratitude earlier, and that can really, really help as well. But another thing you could do is treat yourself, because sometimes we do for so many other people, you know, and you may have the role of, you know, you make lunch, you make dinner, you tidy up, you do all of the household chores, you know, the cleaning, the ironing, everything else. But then do you actually spend time for yourself, with yourself, for yourself? And this could be as simply, Katie, as having a bubble bath, you know, spending extra 10 minutes in the shower, drinking a hot cup of tea with a cake, you know, with a slice of cake, just treating yourself. And it could be something as small as, like I've mentioned, like a bubble bath, but really enjoying that time and just really appreciating yourself for who you are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that. And that, you know, and it's so like, I like how you said, like, putting yourself in that moment of like when you were the happiest, or when you find joy. Because it's funny, because somebody was actually just talking about, like, in my last podcast, the difference between joy and happiness, you know, because like happiness can just be like, you know, things more like tangible things, but the joy is like what you feel like inside. And, you know, and that's why it's so important, because if you're not giving yourself joy, like you were talking about, you know, you're not going to be able to love yourself, and then it's going to be hard to continue to love other people. I mean, that I can imagine that could be difficult in a relationship as well, you know, with your husband, or maybe with other, you know, other people in your family. I know that eventually that can be something that can affect other things in
Totally.
your life. So
Totally.
it's
I
good
mean,
to remember. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so sorry. In the self-love challenges that I run, especially for the 10-day self-love challenges, the first exercise that I give everybody to do, which is the most powerful, is to connect with your inner self and just be open and honest. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the happiest, where do you love yourself right now as a whole holistic being, as you? Where do you love yourself? And this is where it's quite common that a lot of ladies have a score up to 5. They don't make it above the 5. And this comes down to a lot of things, you know, from their programming, the way that they feel about themselves, the insecurities, you know, the physical side. They don't like the way that they look. And then they've got different views, you know, oh, I'm not as good as everybody else. I'm too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, all of that. But then it's a case of, well, you know, where did you get that belief from initially? You know, are they comparing? You know, was it pre-programmed from when they were a child? And I've worked with clients before in the past on the theta healing side where they struggle to lose weight and they're now in their 40s and they have this the way that they view themselves is basically a less than a 5 out of a scale of 10 of self-love. And this ultimately, when we go back and it's like an onion, you peel back the layers. And it turns out that, you know, for one example, a lady was like, when she was 6 years old, we did a lot of the hypnosis to go back through the memory link. And when she was 6 years old, it was something her mom and her auntie kept saying to her, oh, look at you compared to your cousin. Look how fat you look compared to your cousin. You eat so much more compared to your cousin. And she was constantly being compared to other people. So what that meant is as she grew up, she was not only feeling really insecure about her physical body and food, her relationship with food, and then it kind of brought out the emotional eating. She was also having issues in her work, feeling she's not good enough because her mom and her auntie used to compare her. So in life now, she compares herself to other people, thinking she can't get the same opportunities because everybody else is better. So she wanted to go for a promotion. And she was really, really, you know, on the conscious level, really positive about it. She had all the skills, all the competencies, everything. But then what we did through the session is we realized through her subconscious programming, she was sabotaging her own success because she felt she wasn't good enough compared to the rest of the candidates. So we removed all of this. And then in terms of the success story with this particular individual, within 6 months later, she went for a promotion and she got the job. She got it. But she'd been trying for years to get promoted and she'd been in that role for years, for over 10 years. And it's just a simple tweak in terms of the pre-programming from childhood. Right. So that was a bit long-winded.
No, but that was a perfect example. Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's just that one little belief. It's affecting so many things in your life, and you think, that, you know, just these affirmations, like, that's going to help you, but you have to believe it. You know, you have to believe that that's what it is, and not just think it.
Yeah.
So
totally. And it's like that scale of 1 to 10, because a lot of the time, I mean, even my own personal development journey 15 years ago, it would be like if somebody said to me, oh, do you love yourself? I'd be saying, you can't love yourself. Why can you love yourself? Who do you think you are to love yourself? Oh, and then you look at other people, and if they're kind of doing better than you, or they're more successful, or they're more confident, I'd have this inner belief thinking, they really love themselves, don't they? But I'd view that as negative. And I can remember this, you know, before the 15 years of when my personal development journey, I used to think, what are they doing? Do they really love themselves? Why do they love themselves? And I used to have a negative view. And then when I started 15 years ago, my personal development journey, the very first thing I fundamentally learned, like I mentioned before with you, Katie, was the gratitude. And then it's as simple as saying, if I was to say to you, how are you today? How would you respond, Katie?
Oh, I was saying, I'm sorry. I'm great.
No, it's okay. I'm just doing a role play. How are you, Katie?
I'm good.
I'm good. See, that word I'm good, okay, is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just good. Okay, it's good, but it's good. But then some people say, I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I'm fine. Okay, can you see the difference between I'm good and I'm not bad? So if you're not bad, you're using the word bad. You're coming back to your thoughts, bad. Oh, I'm feeling bad. I'm not that bad, but I am a little bit bad. So it's looking at your, really listening in and looking at your internal narrative, what you say to yourself. So going back to self-love, it's such an important topic area. It really is, but it's so expansive.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much to it.
Well, yeah, because it just kind of depends on your background, kind of the things that you went through. We all have, there's different therapies out there. Sometimes some of us do need those things, on top of having a coach. But I have talked to several authors and coaches, a lot of life coaches in particular. And, it is so important for people to have that piece as well, because I used to be that person. I'd be like, what is happy? Like, how is that person so happy, and they look happy all the time, and they're just laughing, and like, like I'm just thinking this in my head, like why that's not fair. Why can't I be like that? Like that's not how life is. Like, you're just cocky and too confident, that's what you think in your head. But then when you really get to that point where you're like, no, like I'm freaking awesome, like I'm so cool, then you just then you know what I mean, that happiness is like, this is where this was, this is where I was just letting all this crap just mingle and, linger inside of me. And then I just got the help from people. And that's another thing. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to open up about things that you've been scared to open up about with people like us, because, they're here for you. So,
totally.
and that
and I've seen that. Yeah. Definitely. And I've seen that so much in corporate world as well, with my experience of working over the last 20 years. You see all of these different personalities and these different people. And another thing as well, a key factor is, you can look at a person and you can have these perceptions of they're really happy, that they've got perfect makeup, perfect hair, that they look really well dressed, really smart, etc. But then when you actually talk to them, everybody's got their own personal story. Everybody's got their own internal narrative of what's going on. And even though sometimes on the external, we may think that, yes, the self-love is really high and the confidence level, but deep down, it's about self-questioning. Are you actually ultimately happy doing the things you're doing? If you've got a relationship, are you happy in that relationship? Or if you're looking for a relationship or you're single, are you happy being single, or are you looking for a relationship? And if you are, sometimes what are the patterns and the programmings that's going on in your mind about meeting, for example, your most compatible soulmate or whatever it is? And then looking at your work, if you're working at the moment, if you're working for an organization, are you happy doing the role you're doing? Do you feel like you're valued for the money that you're getting, your income, or do you feel that you should be earning more? Because a lot of this as well, and this is what I work with my clients towards, is about reaching the true highest potential. Because a lot of the time what I find is people just make do, they're just fine. They're just settling for their comfort. Yeah. And it's about actually reaching your highest potential. So the mindset work, as well as the heart set, as well as the skill set, it's so important.
Yeah, beautiful. I was loving what we're, everything we're talking about. It's fallen in line with just everything that I've done, and it's just so cool to hear like your journey, and just, it's like, like I used to think like that, or I know somebody that does that, or, just, I remember somebody talked to me about that technique, and it's just cool to hear that, you've just integrated so much into what you do. But that kind of leads us into, like your programs and stuff. Like, what do you have like going on right now? Like, tell us what people can join in on.
Yeah, well, I'm shortly going to be opening my doors to my Infinite Possibilities, the 8-week life-changing, powerful program. And it's basically over 8 weeks. It's an hour of training each and every week. People can listen to the live sessions, or they can definitely have access to the replays. In between, there is homework to do, so you get all of the worksheets. But we cover, the mindset, the heart set, the skill set, we start with the thoughts, really assessing what are your thoughts at the moment in all areas of your life, and then it's going on to your beliefs, it's going on to taking aligned action and how you can really tune into your intuition. We've all got access to our intuition, but sometimes we don't always listen to our internal guidance. So I do a whole week just on opening up your intuition, understanding it, being confident to really listen to your gut instinct and your intuition. And then it's opening up to getting clarity on your dreams, on your aspirations, your goals, and actually determining what's your true potential. Is it financial? Is it to do with your relationship? And it could be all areas of your life, but it's going really deep into the depths of your life and really coming out of the comfort zone, so to speak, so that you can achieve your greatness. And I call it your greatness because in life, we always want to, aspire to become or to be that person. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing stopping you from doing that apart from yourself. So it's getting outside your comfort zone and really going with it. And then what I also cover as well is the universal principles of manifesting. We go into it really deep so that at the end of it, whatever you feel that you want, and you will believe that you can achieve it because anything is possible. I love that mantra, anything is possible. So it's an infinite, so it's an infinite possibilities mastermind course. And I can give Katie the details in terms of the links. So all you need to do is just click on the links and you can find that. I've also got a Facebook group as well called Anything is Possible, and you're welcome. That's for inspiration and motivation. Welcome to join that group as well for more information on all of this wonderful mindset and heart set tools.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Like I said, I've been able to hop on your Facebook and I've been watching, your self-love. I love that. I think it's so cool. And,
Thank you.
A lot of us are kind of like scared. I think a lot of us are scared to like hop on the video. We were just talking about this. I'm like, but I've been working on it for so long now. It's just like, I love it. I love being able to see your face and chat with you and get to know you. So it's really cool. But yeah, I don't have too much else for you, but if there is something else that you want to, last minute you want to talk about, I'm totally open to it. We have about like 10 more minutes. So if there's anything you want to chat, if not, I will definitely make sure to, you give me your links and we'll get that all in the description and everything when we
Yeah. The only probably last thing that I just wanted to probably just mention is that I do have a free ebook, which is all to do with gratitude. So gratitude, Katie, was what we were talking about at the start. So, gratitude over the last 15 years, gratitude was the first thing really that expanded my mind and got me into that appreciation, that high vibe, that positive energy. And when you're in that positive energy, you then start to attract all of that which is in the same vibrational resonance as yourself, which means like synchronicity, because I don't believe in coincidences. Okay, I believe that things happen for a reason and it's all to do with synchronicities. Okay, so gratitude was fundamentally one of the first techniques and exercises that I started to use each and every day, and I've been doing it for the last 15 years every single day without fail. And I always feel like positive, high vibe, and that's because I'm always grateful for the things around me. So I'll give you the link, Katie. You can share that with everybody listening. And once you access the gratitude ebook, it gives you 7 exercises that you can use on a daily basis to increase your art of gratitude and your attitude towards gratitude. So I'd like to give that to everybody as a free gift.
Well, that's very generous of you. Thank you very much. So we will get that out there. And I have loved this conversation. Oh my gosh, this was such a great conversation. We touched on some really like sensitive topics, I think, for people. But I love it. And, like go manifesting, right? Go positive life and gratitude. And I will, just to note on what you just said about gratitude, that is so, so important, because that's actually what started my meditation practice. Is like, I just started being grateful that I had the opportunity to sit down and meditate. It started with that. And it started with just something just so little, like I can sit here and I can see, I can feel, and it's beautiful. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for listening. This is the KT Talk Show. I appreciate you all being here. And Sharan, for you being here today and taking the time, because I know you have your kiddos at home. So you enjoy your evening. I am going.
Hey everybody, this is KT. I just wanted to thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, lovely day.